Hello. As some of you know, several weeks ago we had a wildfire going through our property here. I'm Henry Yoder from Bonners Ferry, Idaho. And one evening there was a mighty north wind came up. And normally if there was a storm coming up, there would be a forecast or clouds or it would gradually get windier. Not this time. It was all of a sudden whoosh. It was a sudden mighty north wind, which is unusual for here. And I really felt uneasy about it. I was like, something is not natural, not normal with this. So I started praying against it, not knowing that damage was already done. About almost 2 miles north of here, a tree blew across power lines and it started a fire. And the wind did slow down, but it was still way too windy for having a fire. So I went on social media to see what other people are experiencing or what I can find. And what I found is the police department had put a notice on there that anybody in this area must get out immediately. And by that time there was a heavy smoke coming in our property. We had no idea how close the fire was, but it seemed very close. So we ran out of the house with clothes on our back and our phones. And after we left, the Idaho Department of Lands came back here, and the guy said, when he came back here, he said there was embers and sparks raining down on our property like crazy, and he said it was already burning on the south side. The fire had already chomped our property and was burning on the other side. And he said the only thing that was not burning was your driveway. So he came in from the east, and the fire came from the north. So it went around the west side of us and up the south side of our property and then kept going. So I want to show you a few things here. This right here, where you can see the tree burned, that on the other side of that burned tree, there are some small green trees. That's an apple or peach orchard. So the fire came from the north up to that orchard, and then it stopped there, and it went around the west side of the orchard, and came up the south side of the orchard between the orchard and our garden. Burned that, but it didn't touch the orchard or the garden. And then it went down here. As you can see, there's some burned spots. I'm standing on our deck, so this is how close it got to our house. And then this is towards the west. And then it went around. You can see some brown trees. It was right behind these buildings down here. And then this is on the south side of our house, as you can see there. So it came right up against our property, all the way around us. And the Department of Lands guy said they called in a Forest Service, and about 20 or 30 minutes later, 20 guys came marching in our driveway, and they're highly trained, and they went to work. I'm not sure what all they did, but they went to work. They moved things around here, and they had this deck all cleaned out, and so that was 20 or 30 minutes after the fire had already chomped our house, our property. There is no reason that this property should still be here, except that God was protecting it. His angels were here. When we left, we prayed and we declared that this fire will not ruin our house, and it didn't. But there was many people praying. So I want to show you some pictures here. I showed you our orchard back here, and this is what I'm talking about. Right here, you can see it's burned right here on this side of the fence, but on this side of the fence, it's not. So the fire came from this is north, came from here, sounded like a freight train up to this fence. Boom, stop. Straight line right here, went around the west side and came up the south side. And here, this is our orchard. Here's a peach tree. And you see, the peaches are still fine. We actually picked them after the fire, but it melted our fence. I don't know if you can see or not, but we had a kind of a plastic fence there. It was pretty high. It melted the fence, but did not come into the orchard. So it burned around the orchard, between the garden and the orchard. So let me show you over here. I'll take you over here to the garden. This is our garden. It's right behind the house. And the fire came, that's our solar panels, and the fire came up to those solar panels. It burned underneath the solar panels a little bit. But back there, where those little green trees are, that's our peach orchard. And you can see it burned on this side of the orchard, but not the orchard. And came up between the orchard and the garden. And then it stopped there. It stopped right there. And then it went around the west side of our property and on the to the south, and then kept going. So a few more pictures here. This is what it looks like if I would take you over there on the south side of our property. This is what it looks like. I mean, it just cleaned house. And this is the amazing thing is, this was after it passed our property. So it came, and the property to the north of us is a 60-acre piece of forest, and it just cleaned house. The guy said he probably has 60% timber loss, and it was really hot there. But then it came up to our orchard and booms, stopped, and went around our orchard and on the other side of our property. And then I actually asked a firefighter if anybody was back there in our orchard, if they were back there fighting fire. And he said, no, there was nobody back there. So this was taken from the highway, or actually a little bit off of the highway, about probably, it was taken probably about 3 miles from here. So right here is this hill. It's because it's far away, it looks like a little hill, but it's actually a really tall hill. And our house is right under that dark spot right there. So you can see, if it came up above this hill like this, it was really hot back here, right where our house was. And that dark figure actually is believed to be a demonic, satanic figure. We pulled it in, we enlarged it, and that's what it looks like. And then later, a local firefighter said they see that all the time. So, the enemy is here to steal, kill, and destroy. So his goal was to destroy the thing, but God was protecting us. So here, this is what satellite picked up. So this fire came from the north, like I said, and this is our orchard right here. And this satellite picked this up. There's a straight line here. That's our orchard fence. So it came here, boom, stopped right there at our orchard fence, went around the west side and came up the east side, a little bit burned between our garden and the orchard. Our garden is right here. So then it went back down, didn't touch the garden, went back down, and this is our house here. So it went back down and went all the way around our house and came up the south side. This is the south side of our house. This is this right here. It's right here. This right here. So that's how hot it was even after it passes. Now, how do you explain that it came here and stopped a straight line, went around our orchard, burned between the orchard and the garden, went all the way around our house, and came all the way back up here? It didn't just come here. It would make more sense if it came here and then continued south. But no, it came here and then it came all the way back up the other side of our house and then continued south. If you don't believe in miracles after seeing this, then I can't help you. We still serve a God of miracles. And I know there's people that lost their house. Many people lost their house, and they're like, well, why didn't God protect us? Well, I don't think we're anybody special. I don't know. There are some things that we just don't understand, but this is our testimony. This is what God did in our property. And I'm not saying that we're more special than anybody else. That's not the case. We do a lot of praying for protection, and Psalm 91 is a good one if you want to pray for protection. And also, it's important to believe. If we pray, we believe that Jesus hears us and answers us. We don't just say words and call it prayer. We actually believe what we pray, and God protected us. Here, I drew this is our orchard. This is the garden. This is our house, and this is our property. So it hit our property a little bit here through the woods, but no buildings or anything that mattered. So we're very thankful to still have a house, and we're humbled by this. I mean, it was a mess back here, of course. There was dust and ash through the house, all over the place. And the firefighters, the highly trained firefighters, were here from across the nation for about 2 weeks. They were here and putting out hot spots. They had hoses running all over the place. They had bulldozers. They were cutting up stumps, digging them out, and all kinds of stuff. But right here in our yard, they had set up 2 water pools. It looked like swimming pools, and they would come into our yard right here and with their water trucks and turn around there and unload their water tanks in their water tanks. And then they had a water pump there, and they had a few guys up here with radios. And so if the guys from down there in the woods somewhere would say, hey, we need water, so they would start the water pump and they'd have water. And they were very nice guy, very hardworking. In the evenings they came up kind of dragging their feet, and they were really dirty. But I know they get paid, but it's hard work. These guys out here to try to protect us and make sure it's safe. And they were here until they were sure that everything is completely out and it's safe to leave this. So hopefully, if you didn't believe in miracles, I hope you do now, because you just saw one.